Welcome back, everyone. This is game 2 of the National Open, and I actually just realized that my last recording had no sound, so this is actually take 2. But I'm going to make these a lot more concise, and if you have more recommendations on how to make these more unique, then put them in the comments, please. So this is game 2. I'm playing at 2278. If I win this game, this is going to be my highest ever win. So I play e4. Opening is pretty standard. I've had this opening against another 2260 that I also won, so I was feeling pretty okay with this opening. Very normal, very normal moves. I play f3. I'm trying to be more solid. F4. I could play an attacking game, but I also want to see if I can just play a good positional game. So I put the queen on f2. I move the queen twice, but there's kind of two purposes for it. First of all, to open up this battery, and also to connect the rooks, so I can put them both on the C and D files. So I play rook to c8, and now I play rook to d1. And here all my pieces are basically where they kind of want to be. And I'm just waiting for black to give me like a target to target. Because right now, like there's these two pawns, but they're both defended twice, basically. So I plays queen to b8, which is a useful move for him, kind of, because it opens up the rook, but also useful for me because it takes a defender off this pawn. So I play king to d8, king to h1. It's a waiting move to see what he's going to do next. And he takes a defender off another pawn and adds it to this pawn. So he's defending this pawn one move less. So I play knight to c2. That's not the only reason I play knight to c2, but one of them is to put pressure on this d6 pawn. And it's also opening up the bishop. So right here, I don't actually want to play knight c2 because he has knight to e5. He has this move knight to e5 attacking this pawn, and if I take, then he takes, and he's getting play on the queen side. And if I play b3, then he has this move b5, which is really strong because I cut off my rook with the knight on c2. So this would be like a really nice pawn break on the queen side. Okay, but the reason... So I played king to a1. Now after bishop to d8, now it is actually okay to play knight to c2. And the reason for that is now he played knight to e5 in the game because he thought there wasn't a difference. But this is actually a pretty big blunder. So you can try to pause the video and figure out why it's a blunder and what is the correct refutation for it. So if you saw that the knight is no longer defending b6 and you can take the pawn, congratulations, you get 1 point in this free response question. And if you saw that the knight can also take, then you get the second point. And you have to get you get the third point if you realize that after the knight takes on c4, you can play this intermezzo bishop to a7. So if you got all 3 points, put that in the comments, and I will give you a shout out on the next video. And the reason this is so strong is because the queen has 2 squares to go to. It doesn't have a lot of options, and no matter where it goes, it's going to eventually stop defending this d6 pawn, which is pressured by my rook. So in the game, he went to a8. If he went to c7, then I would take. And he would really love to take with this rook, but unfortunately this rook is not a cannon in Chinese chess. It cannot just jump over the queen. So he has to take with the queen, and now I take the pawn, and I'm up a pawn. So in the game he went to a8, trying to set up this battery, but the battery stares into a wall, so this has like infinite resistance. So the battery doesn't do anything. Comment if you get that reference. Bishop takes c4, rook takes c4. Now I take this pawn. He attacks my rook. He's trying to get his pieces into the game. He's down a pawn, so he needs some activity. And now the only thing I'm thinking right now is consolidation because I'm up a pawn, and then I try to improve my position. But there's actually no reason to do that. I should just improve my position immediately because I can. So the best square would be to go to d3 because now I can stack. I want to stack, so that's like my next idea. So I played rook d1, and I'm realizing like, oh wait, I kind of want to stack. I should have went to here. So slight inaccuracy, even though the computer thinks it's best. Practically, from a human standpoint, I really want to stack. So he goes here and stacks here, but my knight's kind of blocking it off, so I'm not too worried. So I go bishop to b6. I'm trying to cover d8 so we can never challenge the file. He goes bishop to f4, and now you see why it's kind of annoying that I went here, because if the rook was here, then I could go here and stack to d1 on the d file. But the rook is not a horse, so it can't just jump to d3, unfortunately. So I block with the bishop, and now the bishop's attacking the knight, so I go knight to a3. Attacking the rook, that rook goes back, and I go bishop to d4. He goes bishop f4, and I go rook c2. So knight a3 to kind of clear the way for the rook to go to d2. So a lot slower than rook to d3, but I'm still trying to stack. Now my opponent plays queen to b8, and so obviously this battery's not going to do anything, so he tries to do something else with the queen. Still kind of stuck in the corner, very, very sad. He's attacking h2. He's attacking h2, and there's a couple ways to defend it. I can go to h4, but that's not really where I want my queen, even if I can make some threats. He can probably just play like e5 maybe. I played g3, which is very, very irresponsible. And the reason I say that is because although I'm attacking the bishop and stopping it from taking, I'm opening up this diagonal slightly for the king. And even though that's a long way from being dangerous, in the long term, this you can't move pawns back. So this is kind of a committal move, which isn't necessary. And it's not necessary because I can just go queen to e1, indirectly defending this pawn because bishop h2 runs into pawn to e5, intercepting this connection. So I'm attacking the knight and attacking the bishop, and I'm going to be winning material. So going to e1 would have been a move if I saw something other than g3. I probably would have played something like this, or rook e2 has the same idea. But I played g3, which doesn't throw away my advantage, but does make it a little more annoying. Now I have to look out for sacks because the king's on the h1. So he attacks my knight, kind of. He wants to take it. If he can actually take it, then I make doubled pawns, and I'm not up a full pawn anymore, basically. So I move the knight to b1. He goes rook c4. I have no idea why he did this at all. Probably to waste some of my time, try to confuse me. And it kind of worked, but I moved here and he just went back. So now I lost 5 minutes, but I also know that he doesn't know what he's doing, which is kind of good. So he doesn't know what he's doing, and he just made no moves. So I can try to punish that. I can try to look for a sharp punishment for that, but I just chose to play simple with knight to b3. I think I was down 20 minutes. I had 20 minutes. He had 40. I wasn't too low on time, but I did want to make just natural, quick moves, just in case it got to a point where I need some time, and that did actually happen. However, there's another very, very strong move, and if you find this move, then you're probably a very strong player. And so you can try to pause the video, but that move is b3. And this, at first glance, this looks kind of insane because even though I'm trying to play knight c4, he has this move e5, and it's just weakening this knight. However, it attacks my bishop, but I can go to a7. I can hit him with the same trick twice, and now knight to c4 locks up this file. And now I'm going to stack. I'm going to put the bishop on b6, put the knight on d5. This is just the dream, especially when you're up a pawn. So this would be the dream position. If I saw b3, I would have played it for sure. But I wasn't looking for this, and I played knight to b3 instead. But luckily, I still have a pretty sizable advantage. So he plays e5, I go bishop b6, with the idea that he wants to play bishop b4 to attack the knight, so I can X-ray defense with bishop to a5. So he goes bishop c5, attacking my queen. I trade here, and now I'm thinking that, okay, he's going to go back. I'm going to stack finally. I'm finally going to stack, and I'm going to go rook to d8 check. Everything's going to be all right. And then he plays knight takes e4. Oopsies. So remember when I said g3 was kind of irresponsible? Well, this is kind of punishing it, because if I take, then the bishop takes with a check. If the pawn's here, it would not be a check. So I would just move my rook, and just sack the knight for no reason. However, it is a check, and even though I'm attacking the rook, this is still very, very strong, because if I take, the rook takes my rook. And although I have a bishop and a knight for a rook and pawn, I basically don't have a pawn, and he has really good major pieces, and my pieces can't really coordinate well. So that'd be very bad if I take with the pawn. If I take with the knight, that's even worse, because he just takes my rook for free. So now I have to start thinking. I have to start using the time. I think I have 17 minutes. I was slightly panicking, because I did not see this at all. And if I do something bad, if I move the queen, then he just takes my knight, and he even has tactics probably, like taking on f3 and taking on b6. So I'm basically forced to find something to just even save the game, because if I don't win here, I lose. The second best move here, the computer says okay, so the evaluation is 1, but if I don't find that, it's -1. So I have to find the right move. And luckily I do. I spend time and I find f takes e4, because if he takes, I don't have to take. I can move the king. And the idea is if he takes, I don't take because then he takes, and he's up in exchange. But instead, I play rook to d7. It's a kind of a clearance move, another intermezzo, attacking this pawn, threatening checkmate in 2 moves. And I'm also attacking this pawn. I mean the rook. So if he takes, then I have checkmate. I have checkmate in 2 moves. So he has to play f6 here, and I take the rook. He takes my pawn. I go queen d2. He takes my bishop. I go queen d6. And this is very weird. I'm not sure if I would have won this game. It's really, really complicated. I have to sort out these complications with like rook d8 check, taking, and then he starts checking b. Or bishop h3, which is just absolutely like insane. So this would be really insane. He should have went for this, but I think because he thought that he was saving the game with knight takes e4, and then he saw that I have rook d7, he just tilted and he just thought he couldn't allow it at all, and instead played rook c6. But this just makes it really easy for me because I can go rook d2, stacking on the file, and now I'm attacking the rook and threatening this at the same time. So he takes, I take, and now the rest is pretty straightforward. I'm just up a piece, make some trades, b3, make some more trades, centralize the queen, and now I find this nice way to just lock up all his pieces with these 2 knight moves. And now he has to guard this g7 square. So now I just push pawns on the side, and eventually I will sack the queen. And so I spend a lot of time calculating here, but I do realize that I can sack the queen. Play take, play a4, play a5, and his king is not in time because I played b5. And he resigned. So he can't take because I make a queen. The king doesn't get back in time. He cannot go here because I just play b6. Very, very simple. His king's stuck over here. My king takes both of these pawns. My pawn makes a queen. And he cannot try to go this way because, first of all, I can probably take, but also I just move my king to e1. And now I make a queen like this. So he resigns. I get my next highest win. I don't really plan to stop, but I have 2 out of 2 in this tournament and 5 rounds left, so we'll see how I do in those 5 rounds. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.